it just goes back to what we said earlier in the season where everyone basically called us jerks. What is your one thing that you could point to that Brent Brennan has been successful with this season? Number one would be bringing back the players. What's number two?
Right. There's no number two.
There's no number two. And it's like the offense is garbage. Like Ben nailed it. So they go 5 wide against Houston to spread out the field and try to give Noah some more passing lanes, and it works. And so they're like, oh, it worked. We're going to do the same thing against TCU. Well, TCU's pass defense is top 25 in the country, and your offensive line sucks. And TCU had 20 sacks coming into the game. You know they're going to pressure you. So the same strategy, it's as if it goes back to what we say about like with the fans, Mike. It's as if they think everyone else is stupid.
Yes,
like TCU,
exactly.
Like TCU didn't watch film of the Houston game.
Right.
They'll never see this coming. You're running, and Ben put it perfectly, you're running Madden plays. 5 wide, and you run verts, and hopefully, some guy gets open. And, thankfully, again, the one positive, besides T-Mac, Chris Hunter's really good.
Chris Hunter's really good, yes.
And so I think Chris Hunter and T-Mac actually makes an inept offense look a little less inept because of how well they played today.
Yeah, and this is something. All right, now why don't we get to our Sanderson Ford drive of the game here? There's a lot to choose from here. The Sanderson Ford drive of the game. Football is back, and so are the deals at Arizona's largest Ford dealership, Sanderson Ford. Shop America's most awarded Ford dealership with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. The drive of the game was that drive at the end of the first half. Where it goes from being 14-13 to 21-13, and then TCU never looked back. That was your Sanderson Ford drive of the game. Guys, I am actually right on this one.
Well, yeah, look, you have 3rd and 20 and 25, and then you let up a 24-yard gain. And then it's like, they had 2 third downs on that drive, I think, that TCU converted. You get out of that, all of a sudden you're 14-13 at half. Let's do worst case, right? 17-13 at half. Let's just say they get a field goal. Okay, that's doable. But now you put yourself in a position where, like you said, if TCU scores on the first drive, that's game. And then all of a sudden, again, snowball, TCU scored touchdowns on 5 straight drives.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, that just kind of is what it is at that point. Now, I do think, let me ask you guys this. With the thing that has still stunned me the most about this, and again, the defense, I actually do give the defense a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because there actually have been a ton of injuries. But what has still baffled me, and Ben White hit this on the head, but again, when you're the tight end whisperer that is Ben White, you're going to see these type of things. The offense, there is no continuity. There is absolutely no nothing. Like you said, I mean, you're getting, I mean, again, I don't need to see another funnel screen. They know that's coming. They want that to be there. And it's like, they're like, okay, watch this. We're going to out trick them. We're going to keep doing what hasn't worked. The incompetence offensively from this staff has been remarkable.
Yeah. And I mean, it goes back to the fact that, I mean, you hired an offensive coordinator at the beginning of the year who's just been an absolute atrocious mess. And obviously he's been quote unquote removed from the picture, but he's still on staff. And you've got a guy in Matt Atkins who's trying to pick up the pieces, but doesn't have the experience. And I think the problem is there's no guidance, right? There's nothing thorough about what they're trying to do. There's no plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. And you kind of wonder what kind of play call sheet are you looking at? What do you do all week in practice, right? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions. It's been a very elementary level offense. I can't make sense of what they're trying to do. It seems like nobody, whether it's us locally or people around the country who watch this team, I mean, I can't tell you what they're trying to do. And you know, when things go south, right, traditionally it's the head coach's job to step in and try to pick up the pieces and figure something out. And this goes back to Brennan, where there's no experience there. There's just no credentials there, where you look at his coaching record, or coaching history rather, and say, okay, how does this guy kind of get this offense back on track? And it's not rocket science. When you have an NFL wide receiver, you have one or two solid running backs who can get things going. Granted, the offensive line hasn't been good, but if you scheme some plays to the outside and mix and match, you can move the ball.
But there's no reason that the offense... This is what I keep coming back to, though. There's no reason the offensive line should have been this bad. Again, no. I get that you lose Jordan Morgan. You still got 3 studs going into this season. Jonas Avenea is a first-round pick. Wendell Moy was on NFL draft boards. Josh Baker is solid. Again, it shouldn't have been this bad.
It goes back to playing to strengths. Like, you know, and I know Brent Brennan loves Josh Oglesby. That staff loves Josh Oglesby.
I was on him early about not being good,
But you
Sheer.
come in and you change the scheme. And then not only do you change the way they block, you change the way they run. So now
Right.
you're pulling, and you're pulling with guys that aren't good at pulling, and this is what you get. And it's like, it's almost like I realize that coaches want to run their own scheme, but it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And they came in here, and it was very obvious what this offensive line was good at, and they've taken it away from them immediately. And,
Right.
and you said, whatever you were good at, which was standing your ground and all that, we're not doing it anymore. Noah Fifita,
Right.
you're good at this. We're not doing it anymore. Like, it just, and that's why guys don't look as good as they did last season, because you're not playing in any way, shape, or form. They have not played to the strengths of the offensive personnel.